How are we doing, everybody?
Hola,
Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggy With It. I'm Juan.
I'm Adri.
And what are we doing today?
We are going to see what Kickstarter games will backed in last month.
Last month, May. We forgot what, month it was. May. So yeah, this is the Kickstarter and Gamefound games that not only did I may or may not have backed, but we may have also previewed it. But it's basically games that we were interested in, plus games that we've previewed, because we just want to summarize what all we previewed. So with that, we're going to go ahead and go through it. As you can see, my voice is going in and out, so we're going to probably make this a little bit quicker. I might not describe every game as much. Maybe just give a brief overview. And then Adri, of course, is going to say, did I back it or not? All right, so here we are. We got the first game. So the first game here, Adri doesn't need to guess whether or not I backed it, because unfortunately this was Euthia, Torment of Resurrection and Fierce Powers. It was an expansion, and unfortunately Dia Games did close shop. They said that they weren't making the amount of money they wanted. Even though they made the funding goal, they canceled because unless they made way more than what they had made, they basically weren't going to be able to make the game. I think they were upside down from the first game because of the shipping crisis, pandemic, all of that stuff. I was interested in this one, but I wasn't actually backing it, mainly because I would want to get everything that they've had. And it was like 400 euros. And that's a lot of game. And we haven't even started any of our other dungeon crawlers. The Bard song that just came in. So for me, it was just going to be more and a lot of money for something we may not have been able to bring to the channel. Hopefully somebody else can bring up the IP, because I know a lot of people were interested in it. So that was the first game. That was Euthia. Unfortunately, they did cancel. So there was no guessing for out there. I guess I could have made you guess anyways. All right. So this was the second one. Of course, you can see up here at the top. We'll go ahead and let you can't guess on this one. So this is Avalonia. So this was a post-apocalyptic. There, you can just look at that. This was a post-apocalyptic game where you are kind of doing some area control. You're battling each other. It's got these creepy little baby things. They're called the Untainted, because they haven't been mutated by one of the other factions. So here you go. You get to research, upgrade your characters, move your characters, harvest the Untainted, spawn more characters, attack other characters. Each faction has their own little asymmetry, and it's easy to learn. Pledges, we're looking at the all-in edition, right? Which, we would go all in, would have been about 175 US dollars.
No.
So I did not back this one.
Oh, where's my counter?
Where's your D20? There it is. The reason I didn't back this one even before it canceled is because the theme just seemed too disjointed. It was like they were doing Mad Max meets King Arthur meets post-apocalyptic mutants. Like, it was like they were throwing too much together for me. The creepy babies didn't help. The creepy walking head things didn't help. Like, I like weird things, but just it seems so disjointed. Now, if they would have kept it with just the King Arthur and him, in the post-apocalyptic King Arthur setting, great. They're going to go back. They're going to reevaluate, I think, the pricing. They're going to reevaluate the gameplay. You're going to go back and reevaluate a lot. So we'll see. Maybe they'll change it enough for me to want to back it. But that is Avalonia.
Can I look at the screen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not doing the if you guys want to see us not look at the screen and do the nasty jelly bean things, we can do that method again. So this is the Flood. So the Flood is a Euro dice rolling, trading, worker placement, engine building game where you are one of many Noahs. So it's like a lot of Noahs. And you are trying to build the Ark. So you're basically going around the map, getting your resources you need, getting an engine building, kind of like I think the only engine building we've really played is Terraforming Mars, where each thing kind of helps the action of the next thing. And you're trying to do that and build your Ark before your whoever you're playing against. Yeah. So the regular game was 55. This had wood components. The deluxe edition, they upgraded to plastic components plus the expansion. All in 150. You get mats and all that. Now, when I say I go all in, play mats are always the exception to that. When they start throwing in like play mats and stuff, Then they had investor pledge and stuff like that. What do you think? There's the wood components.
Yes.
No, I did not back it. I was interested in it, but I didn't want the plastic minis. And then they started upgrading some of the other components, like the mammoths to plastic minis. And there was no, at least I didn't see it, and maybe I'll research and maybe I'll go back and back it. There was nothing that said you would only get wood components. It was like a pledge level that a couple people were asking for. Is like, can we just get an all-in wood pledge? And they never released that. The other thing is it's religious and not religious at the same time. It's kind of weird what they were doing because, there's multiple Noahs. Yeah. So that was kind of weird. And then I think some of the stretch goal expansions included like dinosaurs and other animals, which was kind of weird. Like you got a woolly rhino. Maybe those were around with Noah. And woolly mammoths were around with Noah. I don't know. I've never, gone that deep into the story. So it was kind of broken for me. I was originally looking at it for the religious aspect for the story of Noah and stuff like that. And then it started turning into, what was that movie? The Noah movie we watched.
Yeah.
It started kind of turning into that.
Name of the movie.
And I was like,
It was, that movie was not bad, but we were expecting something
different. So what ended up happening is, the pledge was 55. And then I think once you added on the expansions, and then you had to add on, see, they're adding all these extra plastic minis, and it was just getting too much. It was turning into another adding minis for minis' sake game, and they were dinosaurs. But you would get the wood meeples or the minis. So 55 was fine, but then when you add in where's the add-ons? You had to add on the expansion, which was like another 30. And then if you wanted to add on the 5-6 player expansion was another 30. That gave you the purple. The only reason I was going to get the 5-6 player expansion, not because we played 5, it's because I wanted the purple and I wanted the black. that was the only reason. And then if you wanted the floods, which came with the mammoths, that was another 20. So you're looking at another $50 for that. And then if you wanted to have the purple mammoth to go with the purple player, then you had to buy this for another 10. So this wasn't included in the 5-6 player expansion. And that's why everybody was asking, can you just give us a wood all in for a decent price? Because once you added all that in, you were over 100 and something bucks. And honestly, I feel like that should have been about 80. Should have been like another 30, maybe 40 to get the 6 player, the expansion and all that. So it was a little bit more than I wanted to pay. I'll see if they change that when the pledge manager opens. But that is the flood. I said I was going to talk less, and I was still talking a lot there. Yes. You look at me like I can talk less. I saw that look in your eye, like we'll talk less. So Tiny Epic Vikings, you said yes.
See.
So you don't want to know what the game is about?
Yes,
maybe it's a game that we won't like how it plays.
That's true.
That's true. But I already said yes already. So we're going to sail to new lands. We're going to conquer. We're going to settle. We're defend. All in favor. So this is being called Tiny Epic Blood Rage. So what it is, it's an area control game where you are on a map and you're going to be sending your Vikings out to try to take over the other islands on the map. That's area control, area majority type games. Those don't always work well at 2 players, but sometimes they'll add some kind of like automa or bot to kind of fill in the place of a 3rd player. But you're going to sail your ships. You're going to collect runes. Runes are going to give you powers. And then you're trying to take over the most area. So the main game, $25. The deluxe game with the shamans is another $5. $10 more also then gets you Ragnarok. So I think all in, if you want the game, the deluxe game, with the expansion, the deluxe bundle, you're looking at $40. Still yes. Say yes? Yes, I did back this. We've liked all of the Tiny Epic games. We like that they're small boxes, don't take up a lot of room. We so far haven't unenjoyed any of them, and I think it's because we don't have what they compete against. Like a lot of people that don't like the Tiny Epic games don't like them because they say, I would rather just bring out the big box game that this is trying to be, right? But having a small box version means it's easier to travel. Like if you want to take it somewhere. Like take this little box, or take huge box for Blood Rage. Big difference. Also, Blood Rage to get all the stuff is very hard and very expensive. All right. So yeah, that is Tiny Epic Vikings, and that was a yes. So you get your point there. All right. So next is Trailblazer, the John Muir Trail. So in this it's $60, so 60 US. In this, you are trying to explore through the trail. A lot of people are kind of comparing it to Parks, but the game plays completely different than Parks. Lots of deluxe components, lots of upgrade spot, game trays, add-ons, what's in the box. So you get nice little hiker meeples there, player boards to go in your trails when you're going to be exploring, field guide cards, collecting things. So kind of similar but different, because we played Trails, right? That kind of had some of that same symbology where you're trying to do things. Upgrade components, solo mode, how to play videos. So they don't have a how to play things for me to show you. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. So the backpack edition is 60. And that's it. That was the only version that they had.
So how much is it?
60.
Yes.
No, I did not back this one. And the reason I didn't back this one is because we are going to be getting a preview copy of it. So I reached out to the publisher and we'll be getting a preview copy. I would have backed it if they said no, because we don't have Parks yet. So I'd like to get this and honestly do a comparison to Parks. Right now, all we've got is Trails, but that is Trailblazer. So of course, once we get that preview copy, we will have it up on the channel and you guys can, of course, see for yourself how it compares to Parks. All right. The next one is Age of Steam Deluxe Expansion Volumes 1, 2, and 3. So this is a train game. I think it's one of the original train games. A lot of other train games are based off of. You're doing route building. So you're laying out these tiles to build out your routes for your different trains. This was adding some additional maps. So you have like Rust Belt, Southern US, Western US, Germany. What is that? Barbos. All right. St. Lucia. So this is just adding more maps to that game. So you can see Switzerland. Here's what comes in what map packs. So that's map pack 1, which was 65. Map pack 2's 48. Map pack 3's 48. Age of Steam Deluxe, the game itself is 80. Everything new, 95. Everything that is being released to date, 245.
Yes.
No, I did not back this one. So I was interested because it is supposed to be kind of the grandfather of a lot of your train games, but we've never played a route building game. We do have Ticket to Ride in there that we still need to play. The second reason is if you look up here on the maps, it says what player counts. So St. Lucia, 2 player, so that's 1 map. In this set, 1 map. In this one, 2 maps. And in this one, 1 map, 2 maps. So 2 maps. So basically you couldn't pick just the maps that would work for you. So we'd have so many maps we wouldn't be able to use. And I think on Quackalop's video, I'd left a comment about that. I said, I just wish you could pick the maps you want. And somebody else said the game is just horrible at 2 players. So I was like, yeah, no reason for me to back it. But I've heard it's good. Just at higher than 2 player count. It's good. So that was the nice. Age of Steam. It does look, well, it's a Euro. Honestly, these maps do not look pretty at all.
But it looks,
all.
No, I mean, looks, yeah.
All the components are wood and plain and simple.
No, but it looks like nice mechanics.
Oh, the mechanics are nice. Okay, the gameplay looks nice.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Next is Microcosmos. So this, of course, is a game that we previewed. No reason for you to guess on games we previewed because we're usually going to get a final copy from the publisher anyways. Microcosmos is another in those small box games. We liked it, even though we played it completely wrong. We got some thumbs down on that video, some thumbs up on that video. People got to kind of see how it worked. Honestly, I think the way we played is just a variant mode, right? You can add that in. But in this, you're basically trying to go through the different planets, collect resources, settle different colonists, try to terraform the planets. And I think for me, I did like this better than terraforming Mars in that terraforming aspect. But The only thing that, and now that I know that we played it wrong, the only thing I'm afraid of is the time, because this says 45 to 90 minutes, and it took us a while for our gameplay, and that was without getting more resources. Because to do that terraforming actually should have required resources, and we weren't spending them, right? So we weren't going out and getting more, because we're like, what else are we using them for except for upgrading our crew and getting more abilities, right? So that would change the game a lot. So I'm excited to get the final copy. That way we can see, well,
play it right.
Yeah, play it right and see if we like it better. All right. The next one is Ananukki, Dawn of the Gods. This is the relaunch. So we covered this last month. There's really no reason for you to guess on this one because I didn't change my mind. They basically broke up the campaign into smaller chunk bundles, but the way they built the chunks, you still would have to go all in to get everything of worth. So they basically broke it up as an expansion, came with your extra players, and then this one came with the 5th player. So if you wanted 6 player, you had to get both of these expansions. And the way they broke it up made no sense. I thought the first campaign was laid out much better, much cleaner. It was very understandable what came in it. Again, I'm interested. I don't know how to play as a 4X game. Again, I did reach out to the publisher. Don't know if we'll get a preview copy of this one or not. If they see both of our videos where I'm saying it doesn't look too well, maybe no. But yeah, so that's Anunnaki. It did do some interesting things in a 4X. I just don't know if it's for us. All right. So the next one is Artemis Project. So this is another one you don't have to guess. Why?
What?
Why don't you have to guess this one?
Because we played it.
Because we played it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we did do a print and play. They didn't provide us a copy. I went ahead and did it on my own. This one I did. I don't know if I backed it or not. I don't think I backed it. I think I got to reach out to them, reach out to Grand Gamers Guild to see if they'll give us a copy of the expansion. And if they won't, then I'll just do it in the Pledge Manager. So I haven't reached out to them yet. But yeah, so this is Artemis Project, Satellites and Commanders. So we have never played Artemis Project. So our live gameplay was the first time we've ever played it. I did like what the Satellites and Commanders did. It gave you more options, right? You got to either change the satellite going around, you get a different upgrade pass with the Commanders. So I did like what it added to the game. A lot of other reviewers, same thing. They liked how it changed the game and how a lot of the stuff that was lacking, they felt that it improved. Oh yeah, you get these nice... You get the nice satellite. There's the new meeples. So yeah, you didn't get to see all the fancy schmancy stuff that the upgrades were. Yeah, so your satellites are actually satellites instead of little pieces of paper. These are the bits that go around the board. And then the new meeples for the commanders. So yeah, so we might be getting a preview copy of this. If not, I'll be backing it because I really did like it. All right, of Mines and Men. You want to talk about this one?
We played it.
We played it. What are you doing in Mines and Men?
Mining.
So
and
it's a roll and write game.
It's a roll and write game. We need to gather some gems or items without getting trapped and
blowing things.
And what?
Blowing things up with the dynamite.
Blowing things up without blowing us.
Blowing ourselves up. Yeah, and it is a campaign, which I thought was kind of cool that you can, there's multiple chapters. We, of course, played the prototype, so we didn't have like the market and the upgrades, but they're supposed to be able to buy things from the market with those points that were in the top corner. So like, say we each got 1 coin and we could each buy 1 red diamond going into the next chapter or something like that. So you kind of start with a head start.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I liked it. This one, of course, we backed the whole thing because it's like $4. Or was it $6? It was $6 for the Legendary Miner. Print and play, real quick, real easy. Once we get the full copy, we'll probably do another gameplay of it. If you're interested, go out here and I can't follow it. So go out here and just pay attention. I don't know how you're supposed to know. I guess maybe send Mauro a message asking when he's going to have it available for people that missed the campaign. That is Of Minds and Men, a roll and write, print and play edition game.
Thunderquest.
Thunderquest. Oh! No, it's Thundercats. So Thunderquest, Deepwood Defenders from AEG. So this is Autorac. We like Autorac games most of the time. This is a quest game with cards. So unlike most games where it's all based around like minis and boards and stuff like this, get through all the videos. This one is based on using card play to get your actions and your quests and stuff. So this one introduced 2 new quests, and then they have a starter set with the 2 new quests. They have quests 2 through 11, so $25 each. This is number 12 and 13, so they've had 13 expansions for the main game. Solo, big box that holds up to 5 quests, and then this mat that fits in the starter box. So 50 for the base game. You get, I guess you do have, I thought it was all card based. So it's card based, but then you get meeples instead of minis. So it saves money because there's no minis. But yeah, it's just normal dungeon crawler with cards, card action to do your dungeon crawler, with lots and lots of expansions. The all in, I don't think they ever priced out an all in. I don't think it was an all in. Oh yeah, there you go. All in. All in was $450. Did I back?
I know you like this type of game.
See? No. No, I did not back it because there's 13 quests. And the same reason I said with the last dungeon crawler is we need to see whether we're even going to bring dungeon crawlers to the table and to the channel. Because we really only play games on the channel right now. We don't have time to play them outside of the channel. And honestly, I feel like if we play something off the channel, that's content that we're losing.
Yeah.
That we could just put on the channel, right? But yeah, with 13 quests and me being a completionist, I would want it all. And $450, it's not like Legendary or Marvel Champions where you can get everything for $450 or more. But they're one-offs, right? They're just little bits here and there. You can play whenever you want to play. This, to me, I feel is more in-depth, more grandiose. And I don't even know how long each one of these single campaigns expansions take. Like how many games is a single expansion? It could be 3, it could be 5, it could be 10 games just to get through one expansion. So no, I did not back this one. I don't even want to reach out to AEG to ask for a review copy because I know if it'd be like Star Realms where we liked it and then I had to go out and buy everything Star Realms because of a review copy. So that is Thunderstone. If you are interested in Thunderstone, they do have the base game available again, plus the new expansions and all the old expansions. All right. This is a board game tables multi Kickstarter campaign.
Kabuto.
Yeah, so this is their expansion campaign for Kabuto Sumo on tour, QE, and Bytes. So board game tables, since we made our Jasper table that we use. They were creating expansions for some of their top games. So Kabuto Sumo, we don't have any of the games, but of course they are allowing you to pick up the base game too. So Kabuto Sumo is basically a dexterity game. You've got little bugs and pieces on this platform. And think of sumo wrestlers where they're trying to knock them off the platform. You're pushing your pieces onto the platform to knock the other pieces off. If you knock them off, then you get to take them, right, as pieces that you can use. Plus you get like different shape pieces that can change the way the game plays. On tour is a, I don't know if it's roll and write, flip and write. That's roll and write. There's dice right here. You're basically a band and you're trying to go on tour. So what you're doing is you're going around a map and you're placing numbers. And if I remember correctly, the numbers have to be in sequential order. So you can't go from this place to this place, this place to this place without the number being, I think, higher. And it's whoever can make the biggest tour by getting the most, stops wins the game. And then this one I think is adding a new map is what the expansion's adding. Yeah, New York and Paris, so 2 new maps. QE is a party game. It's a bidding game where money is no object. So like we could say, I'm going to bid for this drink. And you'd be like, I bid $1. You'd be like, I bid $500. Right? And then you'd be like, I bid $505. I bid $1 million. I bid $2 billion. I bid $3 trillion. Right? And the winner is the person who spent the least amount of money over the entire game. So you don't want to bid high, but you need to bid high enough to win.
Right.
And they say some, I guess based on your player group, some people will stay with like normal monetary values. And then some people will just go crazy and just going up into numbers that don't even exist anymore, quintillions and stuff like that. So that's QE. Commodities expansion, I guess, is just adding more of the same old. Bites, I know involves a picnic and it involves food. I'm gonna have to go down to Bites because I forget how Bites it works. Auction game, here you go. Bites, oh, it's a food collecting game. So you have to collect food that matches your ant. And then you'll get, whoever gets their food back to the anthill first wins. So, and then as I said, they're basically just adding Total Mayhem expansions, adding a bunch of that stuff. On Tour is adding the new maps. QE is adding new stuff. And then this is adding new foods and stuff that you can get. Oh, plus new rules. Looks like birds can come and attack your little ants. Oh, plus there's a rainbow ant. Because he's cool. He's a rainbow ant. All right. Did I back it?
But is all of that in one?
You can back them individually. You can back them combined. So if you want all the expansions, it was 90.
All of the 4 things that you talked about?
If you want all 4 expansions by themselves, it's 90. If you want all 4 expansions plus the original base games, it's 200. If you want everything plus a premium board game bag, it was 250.
Okay.
Now, one thing I didn't mention is they are going to allow you to swap games.
What is the player count?
I'm not sure the player count. 1 to 8. 2. I think this is 2. Yeah, 2 to 4. QE might be one of the higher ones. Yeah, 3 to 5. Bites 2 to 5. But like I said, you can. And sorry for anybody who's watching. Alex's wife doesn't like that either. She gets vertigo, I think.
Yeah.
But they are allowing you to do this swapsies. So basically, you'll be able to swap 1 big game for a big game, 1 small for a small, 2 small for 1 big, or 1 big for 2 small.
Oh.
So you will be able to swap. So they have a lot of these little small games that we don't have. We've got this, and we backed. Oh, they don't have the ones we just backed. I guess they're not going to have those available. But we backed a couple games in the last one, the 9 lives and all that.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. See.
Yes, I did. So you can change your dice with her. So I did the $200. I am probably going to do the swapsies for the. I like the bites. I think the bites will be fun. I think On Tour will be fun. I think Kabuto Sumo. But I think I'm going to swap the QE big box plus the expansion. I think that'll get us 3 small boxes. I don't think an expansion counts as a big box. I think an expansion counts as a small box. So I'll probably pick up 3 of these little guys here because those. Everybody says those are really good. They're nice and small. Like, you remember the Christmas Carol, right? It was like this big. So I'll probably swap it out for 3 of those. If I get 3, if I get 4, then that's really good because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I can get almost all their small box games. And I would almost guarantee even if you didn't do a swap, we can add other games into it as well. So, all right. But yes, I did back that at the $200 level. I'm excited for all 4 of those games. All right. Next is Waste Knights Beyond the Horizon. This is an expansion for Waste Knights. So this is a post-apocalyptic game where you're in Australia. I don't know why I know why all the post-apocalyptic games are in Australia because of Mad Max. But it's just funny that all the post-apocalyptic games are in Australia. But yeah, you're basically just trying to go around the map, beat up on other people. There's different factions that have different abilities. Showing you got to show all the pretty minis. So yeah, so the Kickstarter is you have a different box cover, lore, the new characters, your worker sheets, your vehicle sheets, your new travel board, the sea dice, because you can go out into the sea now. That's what this expansion added, was the sea. You have special unlock cards, mission cards, your rule book, guidebook, tale book, because it is a campaign style game, reference sheets, tokens, all that stuff. Lots of stretch goals, and we'll go over here for the price. So the Fearless Sea Dog, which is the Kickstarter expansion by itself, was $55. If you needed the base game plus the Kickstarter expansion, was $180. That's euros, so that's close to 200 US dollars. Look in me eyes. In me ojos.
See.
No, I did not back this one. I was excited for this one. It looked like something I'd like. The campaign again is like, would we really have time to play all the campaign? Honestly, what made me not back this was Z Garcia's review, because he loves this post-apocalyptic. He loves the way it works and everything. He said that there was sections that just felt unfinished, sections that seemed too brutal, like too hard, to where you could progress through the campaign. And I think he said some of the stuff I think was kind of repetitive. Don't remember exactly. You guys can go check out Z's review. But what he said basically made me go, no, I don't want to spend $200 for that. And we run into that same thing, because he did say it's a game that in order for you to play well, you're going to have to play a lot, right? Because you're going to fail the scenario and you're going to have to play the scenario again. But if you are interested, that is Waste Nights. Subscribe to the newsletter. They'll, of course, tell you when the late pledge is available. Next is the Castles of Burgundy Special Edition. So Castles of Burgundy is a classic. Everybody loves Castles of Burgundy. It is I don't remember. Did you remember me watching this? Quack Club was playing it. I think it was on the TV. We were doing something, but they were playing in the background. But yeah, so this is the deluxeified version. This is by Awakened Realms. They do all the minis and all that stuff. Player board's bigger. Tiles are bigger. You get these castle miniatures. So the all-in, which includes all the expansions that have ever been released, was $95. That includes all of these minis and all of this wonderful stuff. This is in the Gamefound edition, right? They added one new expansion, which was called the Vineyards. So it's going to have a new player board for your Vineyards. And then there was, we go down here to the add-ons. For the add-ons, they added a 3D terrain pack. So this basically gave you 3D versions of the tiles. So you're still going to draw the tiles out of the bag, and then after you draw the bag, you can put the little 3D pieces to make your village look pretty. Acrylic, so that way you're not putting cardboard in the bag, or acrylic clinky pieces. Playmat, because of course, everybody needs a playmat, I guess. And then of course, Awakened Realms is the one that does Sundrop. So Sundrop is the technique we did, where it's dark in the recesses, dry brushed on the highlights. They offer that as an add-on as well. So yeah, so $95 for the special edition, $85 if you don't want the castle miniatures, so $10 less. Sundrop added another $50. Majestic, which includes everything, playmats, and then the gameplay all in for $6. You get 6 total. But yeah, so about it's $100 plus mini add-ons that you might want to get. Yes. I was hesitant. I was really hesitant at first. I'm like, I don't think I want to get it. I don't want to get it for $95. I feel like that's a little bit higher than I want to pay, because you can get the anniversary edition for like $60, but that's missing like 3 expansions. Trying to find those 3 expansions is really hard. It's like, well, maybe I'll just get the $85. I'm like, but it's $10 more for the castle minis. And then they released the add-ons for the terrain pack. And I'm like, nah, I don't want the castle minis. It's weird to say that.
Yeah.
But when they released this, it made me say I don't want the castle minis. I forgot to downgrade before it ended. It's a $10 difference. I might just use that $10 towards shipping. And the reason is because I wanted the acrylic tiles. And if I'm going to pull an acrylic tile out, I could put that on the board. It's nice and pretty. Why do I need a miniature that now I'm going to have to go find the miniature, grab it? It just didn't make sense to me. I get it for the big prettiness, Terraforming Mars did the same thing. Catan has done the same thing. Big, pretty 3D deluxe pieces. I felt this was overkill, but I did back the 95. I did back the acrylic tiles. I'll decide if I want the castle. I don't think I want the castle. It doesn't do anything for game pay. I can use that $10 towards shipping. But that is Castles of Burgundy. We'll see if we like it. It's tile placement, well, I don't know if it's really worker placement. It's got like resource management, which we like resource management. So we'll see. Next is Bark Avenue. So Bark Avenue is a dog walking game where it's a pick up and deliver. You're trying to pick up a dog, walk the optimal route, get a good review on Yelp. Whoever gets the highest score at the end of the game wins. You're basically walking dogs through New York City. The pledge levels are going to be down here somewhere. Comes with squishy poop. There you go. So the Kickstarter edition is $50. And then they did have ones where you could foster a real life dog. And then they had, if you want to have your dog added to the game. But yeah, that is Bark Avenue. No, I did not back Bark Avenue. I did reach out to them. The publisher Terradice, they are a YouTube channel as well. I reached out to them here through the contact. Didn't get any response back. So I might try to reach out to them some other way. I don't know why they didn't see the message on Gamefound. Probably because they were Kickstarter. Probably because they're overwhelmed. This is all new to them. The reason I didn't, honestly, is Alex's review. He said it seemed too simple for what it did, and for 2-player, you're only playing with half the board. So it's like you're really only getting half the game, which kind of confused me because Terradice does a lot of best games at 2 players. That's like some of their top videos is best games at 2 players. And I'm thinking they didn't modify the rules in a way that made it where you get to do everything and use the whole board and adapt it in some way. Like, I don't know how they would do it because I don't know technically what they could do. So that kind of turned me off as well. So I'll see if they reply back and are going to be offering preview copies. But yeah, just for the $50 and for not knowing if it would work well at 2, and with Alex's review, I just decided not to back it. Did you increase your number?
Oh no, I'm increasing when I say yes and you say yes, but not when I say no and you say no.
Yeah. Next is Arcs. So this is the next game by Leader Games. I can tell you it's 3 to 4 players. So right there, that should already tell you.
No.
No. It is a trick-taking game. The only game we played by them so far is Fort. All their games are 4 letters.
Oh,
so it's their little thing. The other one is Root, which I would love to get into, but there's so much content. Now that they've added a bot faction, it works better at 2 players than it did before. I was hoping with this they would offer a bot faction, but it's $60. It is trick taking in the sense of you play the same suit as somebody else. I think it is, I don't want to say it's similar to a 4X game, but it kind of is. You're going out, you're battling, you're fighting, you're expanding. So it's kind of a 4X game. So I figured, oh, this might be something we might like. And then it wasn't available for 2 players. So no, I didn't back it. Maybe they'll add an expansion down the line that does make it for 2 players. But then I would probably look at it then. But that is Arcs by Leader Games. Next is Santa's Little Elves. So we don't need to say whether I backed this one or not. Why?
Because we played...
So we did play it on the channel. And you can explain what the game's about.
The game is about little elves that steal presents. And then you need to collect... you make points depending on... There are 2 types of toys. The electronic ones and the non-electronic ones. And then you make points. Oh, well, there are some special ones.
Yeah, there's special tiles.
So you need to collect the higher amount of one type, or some that come like the
skates
pairs. Yeah, and you It's random. You place them random, right?
Yeah, well, the main thing is the picture is with the die, right?
The die.
You're trying to guess what your opponent is going to take. So in a 2-player, it's your opponent.
That's the most important part.
Multiplayer, it's the person to the left guesses the person to the right what they're wanting to take. Get it right? They take the toy instead of you, right? It's kind of like they're tattling on you. So it is thematic. It was fun. We liked it. Mm-hmm. Good little game to have for the holidays. Language independent.
Yeah.
Always good for us. So that is Santa's Little Elves. You can pre-order. It'll go probably to TGG's Games website themselves. And you can pre-order direct from there. It's supposed to deliver before Christmas, so we'll have it in time to play for Christmas. Next is Bananya. So, of course, this game here is another one we did a preview for. And in this one, you're trying to say what?
Bananya.
Nya.
Nya.
Just nya. But Bananya is the banana kitten. It is still active. 43 hours. I don't know if I'm going to get this video up before the 43 hours because I got things to do tomorrow. But basically, you're trying to collect one of every banana. So there's 10 bananas, I think it was. And you're basically discarding a card, drawing a card, very simple mechanics to try to collect it. Each banana has an ability, and then you activate that ability. And first person to get all 10 says, yeah. Nice little light party game. They did add some expansions.
Super cute.
Yeah, super cute. They did add expansions. So the main game was $15. It's very, very cheap. Appeal gave you the extra expansion in a limited edition box. The whole bunch gave you all the expansions, so they added a whole bunch of new expansions. So they added expansion pack number 1, which is, I thought they named them. Elder Wisdom, the Sweet expansion pack, the Magic expansion pack, the Music. Yeah, so those are the different expansion packs. So we really did enjoy it. We did say we would like to get it back. We'll probably reach out to Japanime Games to get another review copy. So that way we can play with the expansions and actually play it on the channel. We didn't get to play this on the channel. We just have a first impressions video up if you guys want to check that out.
Batman.
Batman. So this is Batman Gotham City Chronicles. This is season 3. So this is the 3rd edition. Plus, they've added an RPG. So RPG's role-playing game. You can play as people in Batman's world. I'm guessing you can't play as Batman. And I'll tell you, I wasn't interested in the RPG. The game, though, the core game is $125. You're basically going through scenarios with Batman and attacking the villains. The original game was Versus. In the new game, you can play in co-op and do scenarios, which is nice. I'll go co-op. Season 3 basically just added more stories, more elements. They updated the rules and stuff. People really had a bad time with the rules. And then they didn't list the rest of season 1's expansion, the rest of season 2's expansions. So all you know right now is this one, right? So the all-in season 3 is $119, and then the core box would be $125. So you're looking at like $250-ish right there, right? $250 for season 1 and season 3. And then season 2 and season 1 expansions would be separate.
You told me something about this before.
I did tell you something about this before.
Yes.
No. No. I do want a DC game. I'm not a big fan of DC. I'm a bigger fan of Marvel. I do want a DC game. Batman seems to be the go-to. My issue with this was they did not reveal the price of any of the season 2 stuff. And you did not get the exclusives unless you pledged for something. So you had to pledge for at least the $120 or the $125 base game. And while, yes, if I got the base game, I'd probably be happy and I'd enjoy playing it, I would want everything. So I did a quick math without knowing if they're going to offer any discount. It was going to be close to $900 probably if you wanted everything from season 1 through season 3. And I'm like, nope, $900 is too much. Now, I've paid way more than that for Marvel Zombicide. That's Marvel, right? Wasn't willing to do it here. I know there's another Batman game coming out that's Escape from Arkham Asylum. It's a miniature-based game, and you're playing as the bad guys trying to escape. So I figured that might be fun. So I'll probably look at that versus this. I just think I'm too late to jump into this bandwagon. And that happens a lot with a lot of games that have gone multiple years. You just feel like you're too far behind and it's going to cost too much. That is Batman Gotham City Chronicles Season 3. For those of you interested, it did millions of dollars. Yeah, 1,444,512 euros. So that's like 1.5 million. The next one is Breach. So I'm having to show this one on Board Game Geek. For those of you watching the video, it may be back up on Kickstarter by this point, but they basically got a cease and desist from Riot Games. Riot Games basically said that they were ripping off two of their characters when what they were doing is a parody, which many board games have done. Zombicide does parodies. Lobotomy, remember I showed Lobotomy, it had like Harry Potter and all them in it. Games do parodies, they do it. People do parodies, artists do parodies. I knew who the characters are supposed to be. The art, design, and style did not look anything like those two characters. You only knew it was those two characters because of their names. If they would have given them two totally different names and didn't release them at the same time, nobody would knew that they were those characters. But in Breach, you're basically, I don't even know if they're going to have any good photos here. That's a horrible photo. Can I make it bigger? Kind of. Lots of minis. Lots of pretty minis. They were two-tone minis. They had like a translucent blue and translucent purple, based if they were the bad guys or the good guys. But you are a breacher, you're a hacker, trying to go into a network, steal information, and get out. You're moving through, you're upgrading your character, you get more abilities. You have an avatar. The avatar dies. Other people can steal the information that you didn't make it out with. There's viruses, normal computer hacking cyberspace type game, right? Really good looking. Ludus does a lot of games with minis. It's really what they're known for. It did have an expansion which offered co-op mode, but I doubt they showed a picture of the big bad guy now. It was co-op mode and there was this huge, like these, think of those as regular minis. It was like 3 times the size of those, like big balls that you beat up. So there was a co-op mode that they introduced in one of the expansions. So that is The Breach. Would love to tell you the prices. Don't know.
No.
I think it was about $200 ish.
No.
Did not back it. The reason I didn't back it, it pulled me in because of the minis and only the minis. The theme was okay. I like the theme, but the minis is what pulled me in. And because only one small part was co-op, it didn't do it for me. If they would have made the entire game have a co-op capability with scenarios, would have done it. The other thing is, Ludus Magus Studios has had a bad reputation in terms of getting their Kickstarters out and fulfilling. Some of their games have been kind of clunky. So I wasn't holding up good hopes. And other people just in Facebook groups and stuff like that kind of convinced me. I did originally back, and then I dropped down to $1. And now with the whole cease and desist, don't know. The other thing is I don't like board games that are ranked like that before it's ever been released. Like, I'm not going to rate it a 1. There's a lot of people that will to try to offset that, but you know, people that come in here and says it looks pretty awesome and gives it a 10.
Yeah, that's not the point of
a lot of times it's because the publisher asks people to do that to unlock some kind of goal or some kind of thing. So, but that is Breach. If you guys are interested, whenever it comes back up from the cease and desist, you guys can check it out on Kickstarter. Right? Another hacker game came out at the same time, Hacktivity, a highly interactive co-op board game. So this one is a card-based game. Basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to hack the system by playing cards and viruses, or trying to stop a virus. Like when they try to combat you back, they might be trying to put a virus in your system. And you're going through a deck of cards and needing to play certain combinations to eliminate those cards. Once you've eliminated the entire deck, you've won the game. So all your cards, pretty cards, unlocks, cubes. It's because it's card based, it's just cubes and stuff. They did add some fancy, upgrades from cubes to these little ability, little tokens instead. And then the complete edition, would be about $75 US. That includes the main game, little boxes to keep all the cards in, plus the expansion would be in that. Then there were custom editions where you get your picture on the box.
See.
No. Didn't back this one. It looked interesting. I liked it better than Breach, and I think the reason was originally because I was backing Breach, so I didn't back this.
Okay.
Then it came down to Adri doesn't really like card games, so I was like, but we play a lot of card games. So what I did instead was I reached out to the publisher. I haven't heard back from the publisher yet, so I'll reach out again before the pledge manager closes to see if they're planning any previews. If not, I mean, I am interested, but the price for the all-in still is a little bit more than I would want to go in, right? The complete edition, and it's Hacktivity Volume 1. So, but to get the Volume 1 complete edition, the expansion, don't need the sketchbook, right? Is $75, and for a card game, I feel like that's a little high. I would expect that to be closer to 60. Plus, then we're gonna have to add in shipping. Shipping would be another $23. So you're looking at $100 for a simple card game. That was a little bit higher than I'd be willing to, even in a late pledge. I hope they want to do some preview copies and get them out there. So I'm going to reach out to them again and see, because it is cooperative. Again, we like co-op games. But that is Hacktivity. It's got 39 hours to go. It may be done by the time this video comes out. Next is RuneScape Kingdoms. So RuneScape Kingdoms is based off of an old MMORPG video game where you're basically going through dungeons, collecting loot, upgrading your characters. It's kind of got this kind of cartoony style because that's the way the characters looked in the video game. But yeah, you're moving around the map, you're completing quests, you're upgrading your characters. It's got some tongue-in-cheek, like here you can be a chef. I can be one of the characters. There's another one, he's called like the noob, I think. So these are the regular characters. But then then you can be like Clue Hunter. Oh yeah, and then you can upgrade. So like you go from this guy here, and then you upgrade your character to him as you play through the different ones. And the bad guys, you get a vampire, you got a demon, you get this fire dude, you get a big old green dragon. The pledges, there he is, the noob. He doesn't have any abilities when he starts. So you get the main game, plus then there's the expansions, is $150 for the gameplay all in. And then, so the expansion, you get this big old dragon dude, you get this kitty cat, you get this big ant thing.
I don't know.
The deluxe pledge, which gives you everything, plus gives you this deluxe exclusive expansion, which is a neoprene mat, extra dice, golden coins, nice little chunky bits.
What about Carmen?
Lots of chunky bits. Was $250? $195. Did I back it?
See.
No. Did not back it. Again, big dungeon crawler. I've never played RuneScape. I have no background in it, so I don't have any draw. The price isn't bad. I got to admit, $195 for an IP-based game was less than I was thinking. I was tempted because I wasn't expecting that low of a price, because most of your IP games really bloated out. But the only thing that I can say that price is, now that I'm thinking about it, is a little bit too expensive, is the number of minis that you're getting. Because for the NPCs, not the NPCs, but the minions, I don't think you get minis for the minions. No, I didn't see any minis for the minions. So there's no minis for the minions, there's just minis for the bosses.
Okay.
So that does make it a little bit more expensive than I was thinking, because this is all the plastic you're getting. So it actually now I stand corrected. It is a little bit overpriced for what you're getting. I would expect a game with this number of minis in the deluxe form to be around $80. This one right here, I'd expect to be about $60. I mean, what, Aftermath had 20 something minis for $100. So, but that is RuneScape. I don't know how long this has got. Late pledge. So it is Steamforged Games, which is real good. But I've also heard their games are hit and miss in terms of gameplay.
Or what?
Hit and miss. Because they do a lot of IP-based games, and they build the game around the IP instead of building the IP around the game. So then you get a game that's just kind of wonky. But you can late pledge if you're interested in that. Next is another Batman game. So this was canceled, but this is the Arkham Asylum file. So this was something new. It was kind of a combination of board game meets technology. So Lucky Duck does Chronicles of Crime. I think we saw Chronicles of Crime. No, what you saw was when we did the Dark Quarter. Remember I said you can use the game, you read a QR code, and it tells a story in the app, or you can investigate things and stuff like that. Chronicles of Crime is more augmented reality where you can move the phone around to like you're looking around a room. This is very similar. It's augmented reality. So you can see there in the phone where the buildings will be built up in the city as you go through the campaign. It is a mystery game, so you're going to unlock different folders and different components as you go through the game and then play through. So there's going to be, how many, I think, stories total? 3 different stories. The first is Panic in Gotham City, then Twisted Skies, then The Eyes of Gotham City is box 3. So there's 3 different campaigns that they were going to come out with. Unleash the Mayhem. So the base game was 170, plus you get a deck of cards. Double Trouble was 338. That gives you the first and the second adventure, plus 2 decks of cards. 507 gave you all 3 games, plus 3 decks of cards. The Ultimate Last was 625, which gave you a comic book, a newspaper, uncut playing card sheet, some masks, and a special deck of cards.
Is this the Batman game you wanted?
No.
Then no.
Then no, I did not. The Arkham Asylum is what I wanted. The reason is that price. That price is just way too much. You can get the AR game from Lucky Duck, like Chronicles of Crime, for $60. I understand they put it's new technology. They put a lot of work into it. It's got an IP. Cool. 100? I might have accepted it at 100. It has a lot of components because there's a lot of. That's the one thing difference between it and Chronicles of Crime is Chronicles of Crime is all card based. This is going to have pieces and components, kind of like an unlock game. So I feel like the AR is a gimmick that they're charging more for, because if they were to make it more like an unlock game with just the components, same thing. It would be about $80-$90, not 170. I don't want a deck of cards. Don't charge me $25 for a deck of cards. Same thing here, right? You're basically, it's 2 full games. I don't think you need anything in this one to make this one work, right? And then, this one. And then you're getting 3 decks of cards. There you go. I'm calculating $25 per deck of card because anybody who sells deck of cards on Kickstarter are about $25. That's $75 you added to my pledge I didn't want. If this would have been $300, I probably would have backed it at $300. Okay. I think the augmented reality is kind of cool. I guess that, right? Yeah, you said no. But yeah, they are going to relaunch. Hopefully they take people's feedback, because I think it did very poorly. I think they canceled, let's see here, they only made $95,000 on a Batman IP in 4 days. So they launched on the 31st, and then they canceled on the 3rd. So yeah, 4 days. 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Yeah, well, they hadn't gotten through the 4th day. This type of game, if it was done right, pushed right, presented right, at the right price point, should have broke $1 million in the first day. Easy. And they couldn't even make their funding go. So hopefully they go back, think about how they can make it cheaper, how they can make it less expensive, make it more approachable, maybe change their pledge levels a little bit, or come back with just the first game cheaper, and then the second and third, right? Because that's the other thing, is this technology doesn't succeed. That's, I think, the other problem. Remember the Tebaru, the Xbox type game systems.
Yeah.
If that doesn't succeed, people aren't willing to invest until they know it.
That is going to work.
Yeah, it's working. You're going to get more. So that was Batman Arkham Asylum Files. Next is The Gig. The Gig is a dice rolling jazz game. So you're basically rolling dice. You're trying to complete your jazz instrument. Does have a solo game. Each player plays a little bit differently, so it's kind of like asymmetric player boards because you're each going to have your own instrument that you're going to be playing. Rolling dice and taking names, I should say. Where is the prices? Oh, we got the shipping. Prices, I guess, are here. So the in crowd, which I think was the early edition, you get the Gig and the expansions for $23. On the list is $34. You also get credits in the book, in the rule book, and then record label, you get 12 copies.
Yes. No.
Because we're getting a preview copy.
Oh.
So the answer is yes. I would have backed this if we did not get the preview copy.
That should count for me.
It does count for you. You get the point. But we would have backed the Gig
in
if we
the
weren't getting
previous
the preview
ones
copy.
as well. We didn't give me a point.
But you didn't technically guess, did you?
In some, I said no. I said C, but you said no because we're going to receive a preview copy or something like that. Didn't
Where
that
it was
happen?
like I'm reaching out for a preview copy, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, so the Gig, we will be getting a preview copy from the publisher. So we will be playing this on the channel when it releases. So subscribe so you guys can watch the gameplay. If you want to back the project, it's got 6 days to go. I should get this video out before the 6 days are up. And the last one is Sare, which is a strategy game for 2 to 4 players with resource management and push or luck. This one was also canceled because they weren't doing well at the beginning. So this one, you are trying to build out your civilization by laying tiles. It did have a bunch of minis. You could either have tiles or minis. There were two, I think there were 2 pledges. Yeah, so you have the deluxe edition, which included the minis. It doesn't show the minis. Or you had the standard edition, which didn't have the minis. Retail version. So retail version are tiles that you would lay out, and then you're getting basically resources off of the different tiles that you're building in your city, in your Egyptian city. And then the deluxe edition basically added 3D components. So basically your carpenter, your stone, all your buildings, everything would be 3D components.
How much?
For deluxe, 71. For the standard, 45. That's euros.
Yes.
No. I liked it. I was interested, but I didn't know enough to really jump in on it. I didn't really get how the game worked and how it played. I was going to wait a while to see what else happened, but they canceled before it ever reached that far. It did look interesting, but I'm curious. Like, I'm trying to see what it does different. I think the main thing is the pusher luck is you can push your workers to do more. So you can tell your workers, I want you to go get resources. You draw a resource card. I want you to go get more resources. You draw a resource card. And so eventually you can draw a bad card. Okay. And that can impact the resources you've drawn. It can impact your civilization. So that's where the push your luck came in, which I thought was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I don't think they were funding where they needed to be. They only made it 50%, and I don't know how many days they were active. They canceled on the 8th. They launched on the 2nd. Yeah. So basically they were running for 6 days, and it didn't get where they wanted it to be, right? So that is Sare. If you want, you can go and follow. That way, when there is an update or any notification on the relaunch, you guys will know. Maybe they'll try to go to Kickstarter. I know a lot of people do that. They'll try once on Gamefound. If it doesn't do well, they'll do Kickstarter. I've also seen the other way around. It doesn't do good on Kickstarter. They'll go over and try on Gamefound. All right, there we go. Those are the games that we backed or didn't back on Kickstarter. If you backed any of these games, let us know down in the comments. If you think we should have backed a game that either wasn't on this list or we didn't back, let us know down in the comments. Is there any game that is in June that you guys are looking at? Let us know down in the comments. If they want to watch any of the preview content or any of these games once we get them, what do they need to do?
Subscribe. Activate notifications. And
all that YouTube stuff. But until next time, guys.
Adios.
Peace.